to full power!
Gives me the creeps. I feel like something's watching us.
Savick, you go right on quoting regulations.
Hello, computer.
I knew I would.
You betrayed your uniform!
Target their cargo hold. Time to take out the garbage.
Smooth as an android's bottom, eh, Data?
I beg your pardon, sir.
Aspires to be better than I am.
Come on. It's gonna be fun.
5 years in space. God help me.
This is the best day of my life!
A phaser? You didn't use it?
Swords are fun.
Program complete. Enter when
Welcome back to another Trek review, where each week we talk about Star Trek. And this week we're talking about episode 7 of Star Trek The Next Generation, and that episode is entitled Lonely Among Us. The episode was a teleplay by DC Fontana.
Nice.
And a story by Michael Halperin. It was directed by Cliff Bowl, and it originally aired November 2nd, 1987. Here's a couple guest appearances. We have John Durbin as Sistar. Colm Meaney as the transporter chief. And Tavi Raz as the assistant chief engineer Singh. The synopsis for Lonely Among Us is, while transporting delegates, an alien life form wreaks havoc on the Enterprise computer and begins to take over the minds of her crew. So before we get into our subscribers and comments section, let's go over to Caleb and ask Caleb what he thought of the episode.
I liked it.
Okay.
It was fun. Different. A little different. You actually get to see cool aliens for once.
For once, yeah.
And I liked how it was kind of a mystery, also like subplot where there was a different alien entity taking control of the ship.
Yeah.
While they were trying to get aliens to like a peace treaty negotiation.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of fun.
Aliens upon aliens upon aliens.
Aliens among us.
Yep. It's pretty funny how the video game Among Us, right, is like a thing where there's guys running around the ship trying to kill each other, and they're like, one of them is the bad one. And then like this episode, they're like, which alien Among Us is trying to kill? Like, is it the delegates? Is it one of us? What's happening?
It's none of them, but yet all of them.
So what would be your episode rating?
I'm going to give it a 2.
Whoa.
Yeah.
2 Kaplans. You really?
2 Roddenberries.
2 Akutas. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's only because last time I said I gave everything a 1, so. Suck on that. Honestly, though, I'm trying to think if this is like my favorite episode this season so far. When I kind of think it is.
It's certainly I like the pilot, but outside of that, it's definitely the more interesting of the stretch that we've had.
Yeah, I enjoy this episode more than any other one so far. I think like all the characters are starting to be more like fleshed out, and I love mutiny. I love aliens.
Yeah.
I can already smell them.
Yeah, so full disclosure, Caleb and I usually do this weekly, but this time we're doubling up, so can't say whether or not we had any subscribers, but
Thank you
for subscribing. We appreciate anyone who has subscribed. And if you commented on last week's episode, we'll make sure to catch it next week's episode.
Yeah, we've been podcasting since 8 a.m.
We're never going to stop.
And now if you hurry up and get into it so I can go have dinner.
So let's get into the review. Before the intro happens, did you enjoy like the snake head lizard guys kind of thing?
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
I wonder if this is what they were planning on doing in that other
Yeah.
episode, Code of Honor, because you had said in trivia that they
Yeah.
talked about doing like lizard aliens. I was like, this would have been so much better.
Yeah. To me, yeah, like if you had made the Code of Honor people like these snake people or whatever they are, these like lizard kind of guys, it's like, why don't you think a lot of it you would have just kind of let slide?
Yep.
Like it still wouldn't have been an amazing episode, but
Yeah.
them collecting, like stealing Tasha and then making her fight against one of their like serpent ladies.
Yeah.
And it would have been cool. I mean, it
They would have
been
been super attracted to him.
right.
Tasha still would have been like, oh, I mean, obviously I want to like do him.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, have you seen his scales?
Wow, what a hottie. But I mean, obviously he's cold because he's ripped. Anyway, you get it.
You get it. You get it. I was thinking too, it'd be really cool if that the first one that she was fighting was like a snake, like a Medusa type, where she had like a snake body.
Yeah.
And she's whipping through the neon light battlefield, and they have their things. Could have been better. Anything could have
Would
been
have
better.
been cool.
How did
Yeah.
you enjoy though Worf getting electrocuted?
Pretty great. Yeah, pretty great. I believed it, Michael Dorn, he goes all out. I mean, he
Oh yeah,
threw himself into the council and threw himself on the floor,
you don't care.
I like how nobody sees the lightning but the audience. That was my favorite running gag of the
I
episode.
think Geordi sees it briefly, right? Like he kind of sees it.
I could have swore.
Yeah.
Nah, never mind.
Nah.
Perhaps your visors are malfunctioning, Johnny.
Mm.
Unlikely, sir. These visors were designed by the great dwarves from planet Badon Prime. They harness the power of the sun to create their things.
Big done. So we come back from the intro. I don't know how you felt about it, but I thought Beverly's little like doctor headpiece thing was kind of cool. That medical helmet visor thing she had.
It was the first time in Star Trek that like a doctor has worn kind of like a scrub thing. She had like her hair was like obviously like in a helmet like net thing.
Yeah.
Thought that was interesting.
It was cool. I don't know. I like when they make doctors look like they're doing doctor things instead of just standing there with this thing in their hand and they're just like, he's bleeding inside, he's gonna die. Oh god. It's just like, oh, okay. Like, yeah. Like even in TOS, like I like when he has on his like his sheer uniform, like it's his scrubs that are like shiny, and like if he has gloves on or something, like he does just anything different than just standing there and looking at a console and just being like, oh god, he's dying.
My God, I'm trying to save him, man. Yeah.
I don't
Let me
know.
just check Worf's pulse.
Oh, doctor, are you okay? Oh, yes. So good.
Yes, I'm the doctor.
And I am good.
I am, as you say, okay.
Yeah.
Like I thought Worf was gonna like break out of the table.
Yeah.
Where am I? How did I get here? Unhand me! He just like breaks through it.
Since we watched the episodes pretty much back to back, I noticed that it was the same orange sweater on Wesley from last week.
Oh man, that's good. Yeah, I think he only has the one outfit.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. From what I'm led to believe,
Yeah,
this sweater and the other one that we saw where it's like gray Or maybe we haven't seen it yet. Maybe you haven't seen it yet. Okay, I won't say it.
Maybe.
I don't think you've seen it yet. There's a
Okay.
famous Wesley outfit. But anyways, that's the owner of the Ticonderoga tour, Star Trek tour. He's like making these things. He specifically made Wesley's outfits.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's cool. To touch the boy. You put him in a beautiful sweater.
I thought it was really funny that after Beverly gets the alien like into her mind and body, that when she goes up on into her when she goes up onto the bridge, it's really funny how Picard is like hi, like why are you up here? When like in TOS, like McCoy being on the bridge was like nobody Kirk couldn't have cared less. But every time Beverly's on the bridge, he's like, "Why are you on the bridge?" Like,
Yeah.
and I thought it just kind of gave
Well,
like
she's a woman.
well, oh sure, I don't want to. I wasn't going that way with it. I was saying,
But you remember even I used to say, like,
yeah,
why does
right,
McCoy always go to the bridge? He doesn't belong up there.
right.
Captain, what are we doing about this situation? Like, it's none of your business, McCoy. Go back into your laboratory.
Yeah, especially when the ship's getting like rocked with hits or tearing apart, and he's up on the bridge, like, is everything blowing
What
up?
are you gonna do? What the hell, Jim? Are you gonna shoot back or what? It's like, get out of the bridge, McCoy. I don't need you up here. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
It is.
So yeah, Beverly never goes on the bridge, but now all of a sudden she's real interested in the pilot thing.
Yeah, like navigation.
Helm. Yeah. It's like, yes, navigation is on the bridge. And Wes is like, yeah, that's what I'm reading in my book.
Yeah. See you later.
Why does everybody who's not acting themselves goes to Wesley and Wesley's just like, something's off, but oh well, Mom, are you all right? It's like, yeah, I'm fine. He's like, all
Mom,
right.
I caught you eating some of the delegates, but
Yes, Wesley, I am, as you say, okay. Yeah, that sounds like Mom. I wanted to stay in engineering and keep working on that stuff, but he said I had to look at my book. I sure hope nothing bad befalls him.
Yeah. So there were several shots, and I could be 100% wrong, but there are like several shots, it feels like, that Data, like Brent Spiner, he's missing one of his contact lens for it. Because like one of them is like really heavily gold, and his like pupil is like smaller. Or I guess what do you call it? His iris, is that what it is? The black part?
Oh, yeah.
And then like the other eye looks normal, kind of.
Interesting.
So I don't know. There's a
I
couple
did not
shots
pick up
of it.
on that.
Yeah. It's specifically like the scene I'm first thinking about is when Beverly's up at the science 2, and he's like, that's an interesting thing, Doctor, that you're looking at. Like, why are you accessing navigation on the science thing? And then she's like, oh, pardon me. And like leaves.
I'm following up on Wolf. He is, as you say, okay. It's like, what? Nobody is like, hey, this is kind of weird. Beverly usually doesn't come up here and start touching councils and stuff.
Yeah,
but she is today. I don't know. Must be something new.
That's strange. Whatever.
That's weird.
People do weird things. Oh, well.
Everybody's acting real strange with these delegates on board.
Yeah. So we come back from our commercial break, and I thought personally at first I was like kind of annoyed, but then I was like, oh no, this is actually cool. I liked that all of the department heads were meeting in the room. It was cool to see all these like random no-name people that don't get any type of fanfare, but they're all supposed to be like, this is the head of security, this is the head of engineering, this is the like whatever, and this is I liked all that stuff. That was cool.
Except for the chief engineer wasn't there.
Right.
It was his assistant.
He was so busy.
Super busy.
Yep. Yep.
You know how like when the ship is in like warp 6 and flying to one header, you know how busy you are in engineering?
Yeah. I thought it was interesting that they mentioned the Ferengi again, that perhaps the Ferengi had made a deal
Oh
with
yeah.
the Soleil or the Arcticans or whatever they were called. And like
Hmm.
maybe they were messing with the thing, like they had made them mess with the ship.
Yeah, they were like that the Ferengi probably has them like under agreement from like trade or barter, basically.
Right. Yeah, I always like when a show it's best in Star Trek, but I always like it when a show refers to things we've already seen instead of just being like, that's like the Tasmoids from Beta Simple 9. You're like,
Like,
oh, okay.
yeah,
Like, what are those things?
you know those things. When the delegates first show up, this is the first time we get to see their like formal attire, but
Oh, their
like they're
dress
wearing their
uniforms.
their long
Yes.
uniform, which I was like, hey, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I forgot their dress uniforms when the snake guys show up. Yep.
So is that their official like dress?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of cool. They're like long.
Yeah, they're longer. They have like the gold kind of like stitching across.
Everything's gold stitching.
It's kind of like the Kirk uniform from the movies where it's like it's held up here and then you can like pull it free kind of a thing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost kind of more like the mirror
It is very similar.
Spock uniform.
Yep, it is.
It's cool. I like it.
But yeah, we get our first murder of assistant chief engineer Singh.
Dead.
First murder of the series.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, he doesn't call medical first. He just calls straight to security. He's dead.
No, he's dead. I think before that too is when they go into the room.
Oh, the Arcticans, the dog people.
Yeah, they go in there to like tell them like, hey, so like all your live animals, something happened to them. They're not on board the ship.
Oh yes. Yes.
Like, I was so hungry.
Yeah.
Can't you just wait? No, it was a big meal. Oh, how do you feel about the dog people?
So this is the thing is I like you said, I enjoy heavily that they're reptile snake people and that they're like wolf canine people. I enjoy that. Like, yes, more of that,
Yeah.
please. More actual aliens in space. They just don't feel like the canine stuff is rough because it's the 80s. So, like, the mask is not amazing.
Yeah.
Nothing against Michael Westmore. It's like I get that that's the best they could do, but like looking back at it like 35 years later, it's like it's not amazing. I also would have thought the snake people having snake bodies would have been way better than having them have like hands and feet and stuff like that.
Well, that's the thing about Star Trek is they're always humanoid.
Right, exactly.
They always have the same body proportions as humans. They have the
Right,
same legs and arms.
right. And I get it.
The snake people look better
Yes, 100%. I 100% agree.
as far as like creature design.
Yes.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
The Anakins are fine. You can tell like they didn't have like a great like face sculpt, so they kind of
Yeah.
tried to hide it with all the hair.
Yeah, exactly.
I also like that they have lightsabers. That's pretty good.
Oh yeah, they're like food thing, yeah.
It's for preparing meat.
They're like, yeah, I'm sure it is, but you can't have it.
Violence on the Enterprise will not be tolerated. Now get against the wall. We're going to whip you.
Yeah, so this is the halfway point. So go down to the comment section and write Meat Saber.
Meat saber.
Come back from commercial break. And there was a funny scene. So this is after they've talked to him, and they have Picard is like, "Oh, it's like a mystery. It's like a private eye," and he's like, "Private eye,"
Yeah.
and all this stuff. And then he's like,
What
"Yeah,
a
like Sherlock
strange
Holmes."
job. What a
Yeah,
strange job title.
and then he's like, "Yeah, it's like Sherlock Holmes," and he's like, "Oh." So when they cut back, Data's in the room, and he's immediately talking like the old 50s, 60s, like Sherlock Holmes movies.
It's great.
And
And he's like, oh, he's been reading up on. She's like, reading. I forget what he says, but he's like, oh no, I'm not just studying it. I've
like,
completely
I,
downloaded it. I've
I
completely.
am Sherlock.
I am Sherlock Holmes.
Right. And the
It's
thing
elementary, my dear Riker.
Given the choice, they would rather kill each other than any of us. It's elementary, my dear Riker. Sir.
Wow.
And the thing that made me laugh, and I get it, again, I'm not trying to like crap on it, but it just made me laugh, is he's at the desk and he has like the display kind of like monitor thing. And he says something like, he's like, "Yes, we've discovered these two things, don't you see?" And he spins it and then he spins it back. And there's like nothing on it. It's basically just like this like computer car like things. There's no image or anything. It's clearly like nothing.
Well, yeah.
But it was hilarious because like they also knew, like the production staff also knew, like don't put that on camera too much. So when he turns it and then it's like you just immediately like even if there was something on it, he's not giving Tasha and Riker like a chance to even look at it. He turns it back within like half of a second.
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
I enjoy Data being Sherlock. It's also funny to me that like TOS never referenced like Sherlock Holmes or anything like that because that would have been more like the books would have been more popular at that time
Oh,
period,
sure.
maybe. I don't know.
But here's the funny thing is, it's probably true that they referenced Sherlock in one of the episodes that we didn't watch. But
Yeah.
the one thing that we did watch that they do reference Sherlock in it, but they don't say Sherlock Holmes, is the sixth movie. He
Mm.
says the thing that Data says. But Data doesn't say it's a Vulcan proverb. He says, "Oh, the axiom of Sherlock Holmes is like once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, no matter how improbable, must be the truth."
Yep.
And the other really funny part was when now they're talking to Picard about everything, and he has the
Yeah.
pipe in his mouth, and Picard's like,
Lose the pipe.
"Yeah," he's like, "Can we not do it with the pipe?" And then he takes the pipe out and he goes to start talking, and then he like resists doing more Sherlock. Like he goes to walk and he's like, "No." Data's like, "No, no." Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, pretty good.
And then Picard becomes terrible.
It's like finally he put his hand on the panel, you know.
Yeah, yeah. You wouldn't want to take over Geordi, who's touching the panel all the time.
No, I mean obviously you want to be the captain. It kind of reminded me of the episode where Kirk gets taken over by that woman.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, I'm the captain. You have to listen to me.
Yes.
Why is no one listening to me?
Yes.
It's like, well, obviously, we think that something is wrong with the captain.
That's funny. Come back from commercial break and they're in that side room and they're all talking about how they can mutiny against Picard.
Yeah.
And I thought you would probably catch it. There's a couple shots when Troy is talking that there's like the TOS shuttle is like behind her head.
I did see that. Yeah. I thought that was cute.
It was cool.
Yeah, I like that. The Copernicus.
Yeah. I wish it was the Copernicus.
I wish somebody would go in and like digitally change and add like the Copernicus and add like shuttle pod one, like add some cool pre
era
stuff.
Like, oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. Like add these pictures like in the hallways and stuff.
Yeah.
go in and edit more references to Enterprise. That's all I want.
No.
I'll do it. I'll do it myself. This is also the part too where O'Brien is walking through the corridor and they're like, "What is he doing here?"
Yes. He's like, just go back to your rooms. Just go back to your rooms. Like, what is it?
So this O'Brien guy
Mm-hmm.
seems pretty familiar to me.
He does seem pretty familiar to you, doesn't he?
Like I've seen him before.
That's interesting. It's so weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting. Yeah.
It is.
I feel like he becomes a bigger part of the show at some point.
Maybe.
No, I doubt it. He looks like Wish version of Jon Favreau, is what he looks like. Yeah, he's super familiar to me. And it's like, as soon as I saw him in this episode, I was like, okay, I've definitely seen this guy in Star Trek uniform doing stuff.
So you have seen him already.
Yeah.
But he was in a red uniform and he was in the pilot.
Oh, okay.
He's one of the guys that's like, sir, how did you do that? He's one of those guys.
Okay, so he's got to been there the whole time.
Yeah, so they did change uniform colors on him between the two episodes.
I feel like everybody changes uniform colors pretty
eventually. But yeah, he definitely becomes a main person. I'll just put it to you that way.
Okay.
He's also in Con Air. You can see his face. He's
yeah.
Cops in Con
I
Air.
said, don't touch the bunny.
Yeah. I think he's also in one of those like Western shows like Hell on Wheels or something too. I think he's
Yeah. He plays Thomas Doc Durant. He's like the owner of the train company.
Gotcha, yeah. I thought it's so excellent that glowing catch pole wasn't dangerous or effective at all when they put it around Riker's neck.
What was up with that? That's such a weird. What are you doing? Oh, sorry. You're not what we're trying to eat.
They're so dismissive of these guys in a way. They're not and they are, right? Like they're bothered by them and then they're not bothered by them.
They get all the way to the end of the episode and she's like,
yes,
hey, so this thing's happening. And he's like, all right, well, I don't know. Put them back in their rooms and put a security detail. Like, why has there not been security guards in front of their rooms at all times since they've been on the ship? Why?
Right.
Why are you just like, yeah, they're trying to kill each other all the time? I don't know.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, some of them got out. They've been hiding in engineering, waiting for somebody to come in here and strangle them. Crazy guys. Crazy guys.
Yeah. I literally wrote for the last part because that's like this is the end of the episode. I wrote one of the delegates likely killed another delegate. Ha! A problem for another day.
Jeez. This treaty is going to be a lot harder than we thought, I guess.
No, it doesn't.
It's so weird. It's so like dismissive. It's like, okay, so you failed then is what you're saying. You failed at your only job was to like house these people safely and get them to the meeting.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know. They're killing each other and eating each other. Crazy. What can you do?
What can you do? Snakes and dogs hate each other. What can you do?
Hey, man, I don't know, man. Picard's out there. We got to get Picard. We have to go back to the cloud.
The cloud. Wow. This is a perfect time for trivia.
Oh, not again. All right, now you're overacting.
So, Michael Halperin's original story was broadly similar to the finished episode, but had a different subplot involving the lithium on the ship breaking down. So, DC Fontana replaced this subplot with the crew ferrying diplomats inspired by the Journey to Babel episode, which she had also written. The Antikins and Soleil were designed in concept drawings by illustrator Andrew Probert, even though Michael Westmore was the series' regular makeup supervisor. Both of these designs broke Gene Roddenberry's rule of thumb, as the makeup for both species involved full head masks. So he hated it. So Roddenberry hates when they don't look like humans. He wants them to look like humans.
So why is he a fan of space?
I don't know.
I love space, but you know what I hate about space? Freaking aliens.
I hate that they don't look like humans.
Why don't they look like us? That's actually not super progressive of you. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Westmore and his team created the lightweight Antikin masks themselves, but the Soleil masks were outsourced and ended up being very heavy and rigid.
That explains.
Westmore then recast 2 of the snakeheads in lighter foam rubber, but the background actors were forced to wear the original heavy versions.
Cool. That explains a lot.
Yep. So I went and looked up what are Roddenberry's rule of thumb. So this is the thing that Roddenberry forced upon the writer's room.
I hate it.
I hate
it. I want him to look like us and put him in a short skirt. I hate it.
I hate it. More sex.
I hate it. More legs. More legs.
Okay, so here we go. We got 12 of these bad boys. You ready?
Oh, God.
Stories must have a personal element and a sci-fi element. The science fiction element should be thought-provoking and visual. It doesn't have to be a galactic event. The personal element can be created by the characters, by the plot, or by the science fiction element. The key: show how real human beings cope with fantastic situations.
It's all very, like, obvious.
Right.
It's like he wrote this like he's like, yeah, listen to this. Listen how crazy this is. Like, yeah, Gene, that's how you write stories based on the media, which is space travel. Yeah. What are you talking about? They have to be in space. Okay, first rule, they have to be in space. Second rule, they have to encounter an alien. And number 3,
third rule,
they have to laugh at the end. That's it. That's all you need.
Next rule, we will never see the original crew. Kirk and the gang are long gone, though they live on in legend. The focus is on the new characters. In other words, writers, do not think about introducing Spock Jr.
Okay, but here's
immediately
McCoy was in the first episode, though.
Yeah, and they immediately refer to Kirk in the other episode where they get the water, the poly thing. Yep.
Oh, okay. I mean, I liked that they did that, so I disagree with Roddenberry's 5 rules of robots. I don't care about.
Yeah. The next is enough already with the Klingons. Producers were intent on not copying Star Trek's success, so no stories about warfare with Klingons or Romulans, and no stories with Vulcans.
Wow.
But it says Worf was not supposed to be a reoccurring character.
Uh-huh. Wow. How stupid it is. Like, you're the one that made the Klingons.
Yeah.
Like, you made the Klingons be like the main adversary.
Not anymore. He hates them.
And he's like, no, enough of Klingons. No more Klingons. Sick of Klingons. Always hated the Klingons.
Sick of Klingons, sick of Romulans, sick of Vulcans. Don't want to see them.
Hey, you know what'd be cool is if like there was a Klingon on the bridge. That'd be cool.
In one episode.
Yeah. Just to show that like after the the Klingons are cool.
Yeah, like everything's fine now, so who cares about Klingons?
We'll have to make a movie to explain why in Kirk's timeline that happened.
And it'll
be all right.
Good. Yeah.
What do you mean you bought me out and I'm off production? What do you mean?
Next is we aren't galaxy cops. Stay true to the Prime Directive. We are not in the business of toppling cultures that we do not approve of. We will protect ourselves and our mission whenever necessary, but we are not space meddlers.
So he's saying don't do any of the stuff I did in TOS.
You got it. You got it.
Cool.
He is heavily distancing himself from that stuff. Next is let's introduce the freaking holodeck. The fun plot device
All right.
would
Calm down, Gene.
reverberate through all subsequent Star Treks. The holodeck can duplicate with startling reality almost any landscape or sea world.
The holodeck's awesome. You can go in there and it can be like girls and like short skirts and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool technology.
The 25th century placed a premium on mental health. It says something about the growing maturity of humanity that Starfleet welcomes the ship counselor's insights on even their own performance. In fact, Command makes use of the counselor in much the same way as they solicit the advice and expertise of the vessel's other highly trained specialists. Like the original Star Trek, this is a family affair. The success of the original series is due to the fact that it was a family ensemble, not a showcase for the series' star. The continuing characters feel great affection for each other, allowing the audience to share that affection. The Federation has only charted 19% of the galaxy. The billions of stars in our galaxy are still being charted and their solar systems explored, a task so vast that without almost unimaginable changes in the nature of humanity and its space travel methods, this could still go on for hundreds of centuries. So much for the question, are there any Star Trek stories left? One of the show's heroes is the Enterprise. This version of the ship is its fifth iteration. At 8 times the size of the original Enterprise, it's much more of a traveling community than a battleship. The most essential script element is believability. If the writers doubted a scene, producers suggested they apply a simple test. Would I believe this if it was occurring on the bridge of the battleship Missouri? If you would not believe it in the 20th century, then our audience probably won't believe it in the 24th. Let number 1 handle the away team. Why risk sending Picard into an unknown, potentially dangerous situation when you have Will Riker around? And lastly,
although Riker was almost not even a thing in the
right, yeah. And lastly, all episodes must have drama and action and adventure. The entertainment must involve our starship crew and vessel. Plus, once the above has captured the audience's attention, we want to include our usual comments about what humanity now faces. So those were his, this has to be a thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So they said that the Beta Renner cloud was created with a cloud tank, a large water tank used for creating various atmospheric events. So that's cool. They said that there's a shot where Kavi Raz, the guy who was playing Singh, he wasn't available for some reshooting of scenes. So the production staff put a wig on a chair and just was like, there he is. So a really funny thing is, he doesn't talk about it, but soon to be very famous in our watching, a very soon to be famous Star Trek actor, Mark Alaimo, let's call him that. He appears as the dog character Badar, and he went uncredited because he wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, so he asked him not to put his name on it, but he still ended up having fun. So apparently the show received negative letters after the episode criticizing the portrayal of what was seen to be cannibalism by the Antikins.
Oh, give me a break.
So I think when he says it was a big meal and it was delicious, I think they're saying that they ate one of their own people.
Don't think so. I think they ate the other guy. That's why they find like the pool of blood in the.
Well, that's at the end. That's at the end.
Yeah, but I think it's all the same. I think that they didn't find it until at the end.
Oh, maybe.
I think he's implying that like they ate him.
Maybe. And then Mike Akuda and Rick Sternbach, a illustrator, like technical consultant and like scenic artist. They
Mm-hmm.
both criticized the episode's use of the transporter to restore Picard,
Yeah, they
arguing that it was an inappropriate use of the technology so early in the series' run. They subsequently rationalized the use here as being due to the unique electromagnetic influences in the Beta Renner cloud.
hmm
So
Yeah,
that's
they've
kind of
never done anything weird with
right.
the transporter ever before. So
Well, that's kind of brings us back to the review, but that's what I was thinking was like this is the thing that you and I both, but you have complained about it more is that like, oh, this terrible thing happened to a character. How do we fix it? Transporter.
transport him. Yeah, it is transport. And like even in this episode, they're like, this was his pattern before he knew he was going out into space, so he doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah, yes.
So everything he learned out in space, he doesn't remember it.
Which again is my exact point when I had said to you when certain stuff happened in TOS, it's like if you're using old patterns of them,
Mm-hmm.
then they're losing all of their memories. So like none
Yeah.
of them would remember in the animated series that they were babies because they brought them back to earlier patterns.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
They play pretty hard and fast with the transporter. They always have.
always have and always will.
Always will. I mean, Strange New Worlds, like immediately that first episode, I was like,
Oh,
I don't think that's how the transporter works. But now that I've watched more Star Trek, yeah, the
yes, it is.
transporter is just a magical device that can do anything that you need it to do for the plot. So,
Yeah.
plot porter.
So we come back from commercial and we're everything, and then Picard's up on the bridge and he's like, he touches the console and it's like, and he's like, unlimited.
Yeah. He touches the council and he's just like,
Yeah.
be shocked. And it's like everybody's shocked all at once. And Worf's
So,
like, Captain, let me help you.
but
I love it.
one of my favorite things is when they cut to Tasha and she's like, "Where is he?"
It's so bright.
Like, what do you
I
mean,
feel
where is he?
blind.
It's blinding me.
I feel like I can't see.
Oh, uh it's so stupid. I
I
get what's happening.
feel overconfidence leaving the room.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Just
pretty
really
ridiculous. I do like how he just walks off though.
somebody
I was
restrain
surprised.
him.
Yeah. Get to Captain. I was surprised though, because the way that episode's going, you're just like, all right, well, somebody's gonna get to him before he beams out, and he just immediately beams off the ship. You're just like, wow,
See you later.
wow,
Yeah,
they went for it.
it did, but it's okay. You weren't counting on the transporters just fixing the problem.
Well, kind of was.
Oh, okay.
I always count on the transporter.
And then the last thing I had other things that we already talked about. It was the thing I thought you probably laughed at was when they're looking at the console. They're like, wait a minute, what's it say? And it's like
P.
P.
Could that be
People.
P for Picard?
Oh man,
Should have been J. They're like J.
that must be the alien name.
Jean-Luc. Jean-Luc Picard.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Blow it up.
No idea. Flush it. We kind of skipped to the part where like they're trying to like go in and tell Picard like, "Hey, so we don't
Oh
think
yeah,
that you're fit," and he's like, "I think that you're in control by an alien, and you should do medical testing." And they're like, "Okay." And then
yeah.
they come back. She comes back with the thing, and she's
Yeah.
like, "Here's the results." and he just like throws it on the thing. And
Yeah.
she's like, is Picard in there? And he's like, yes, Picard and I are one. She's just like, oh, okay. And then like it comes back from commercial, and Riker's like, yeah, so I'm pretty much convinced that Picard's not himself, but oh, I mean, I don't know what to do. Mutiny? That doesn't seem right. It is just one of those things too where it's like, hey, so like I'm in control of the captain. I shouldn't do anything real suspicious. And he's like, all right, let's immediately let's send the ship back to where we were. And they're like, well, Captain, we're supposed to be going to this conference. He's like,
thing, yeah.
yeah, I don't care. I think we're really gonna want to see what's in that cloud. I've been thinking about that cloud.
And then they're like, but why? Like, we're gonna get late. And he's like, where's your sense of adventure and science?
Are you disobeying a direct order from your captain?
So when they get there, and he's like, could you imagine being snatched from your home?
And what I've also, this creature could probably also be very sorry he killed the chief engineer. I don't know. It could be sorry.
Could be. It's possible. Could you imagine in a world where an alien would go inside of a body accidentally? Could you imagine?
I'm looking at quotes here. Here's the thing about him eating, and she's like, "Oh, I'm talking about like a period of hours," and he's like, "It was a big meal," and then he says, "And it was an interesting animal." Definitely isn't cannibalism.
I don't know where they're getting cannibalism from, but
No, they're stupid. There's a thing coming up next season of Mandalorian that I can't wait to talk to you about. That like something happens, and it was like the internet was just ablaze.
The Mandalorian eats a Mandalorian.
Yep, he eats a human being, just consumes it, helmet and all. Pedro Pascal's like jaw unhinges, and she's like, ah. He's just like, wow.
He goes back and eats the armor. I get it.
Yep. When you see it, you won't even consider it a major thing, and it was such a big thing. Even like,
oh, I see what you mean. I gotcha. Maybe I'll hate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna feel really stupid when I say this, and you're like, "Can you believe they did this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And you're like, "Hey, so what was that thing?" I was like, "Oh, that's in season 3."
Oh yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, well,
I was wrong.
They edited it out, so it wasn't even in it.
Oh man.
Yeah,
and
Disney fixed it.
Just cuts back to you, and you're just so sad that I'm just as angry as everybody else. All right, so that's the end of the review. But let's do the thing that everybody's been waiting for.
Caleb?
All right, Caleb, who gets the Erica Ortegas Award for being the most unlikable?
The Cloud Alien.
Oh,
don't like him.
He does kill our first officer.
Yeah,
I
like that.
He doesn't kill the first officer. He just kills a officer.
He kills the
assistant
chief.
He kills the Isaac Clarke of the Enterprise.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Hate him.
Yep.
I like that guy too. I thought he was good.
He was good. Gone.
What was his name? Singh?
Yeah, Singh, yep.
Okay, Wesley, you have to go read your books now.
Yeah. And then he's like, sorry. Well, yeah. I just like that he said sorry to him because he was like,
sorry, you know how the captain is.
Yeah, this is the episode 2 where Worf is working on the thing in the beginning, and he's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yep, the captain watches, learn. He's just like,
yeah, I got it right here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Geordi says, so Worf, why the interest in this? This is just routine maintenance on senior assemblies. And he's like, simple, Gordy. Our captain wants his junior officers to learn. And Gordy's like, not just those junior ones. And that's it. That's the whole scene. And you're like, okay.
Yep.
It's a weird scene.
It is.
It's like, well, you know, Gordy, we don't have any other maintenance people down here, so It's like-
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't come across it yet. Like why they had such a hard time like casting an engineer. Like I don't get it, but whatever. Because like spoilers, Argyle is not the guy. So
yeah. Well, I think that was one of the Gene Roddenberry's rules that you didn't read was that there must not be a main recurring engineer because no one likes a main recurring engineer.
not at all.
Nope. Scotty was just a fluke. That's my thing. You get your own thing. I'm Gene Roddenberry.
Come up with your own ideas, but they better be
Get your own.
But they better be
idea.
really similar to my ideas.
Better be pretty freaking close. I'll tell you that. I mean, what are you gonna do? Kick me off the board?
Oh God. Oh wait.
This is my show. Very simple formula. You write a sci-fi show. I read it. I say, make the skirts shorter, and then you proceed to filming. That's it. That's all we do here.
That's it.
Very simple stuff.
Next is the Elizabeth Cutler Award for the most forgettable character.
Argyle.
Ooh.
Nowhere to be found.
Nowhere to be found.
He's too busy. He's too busy to be at the senior staff meeting. He sends up his assistant. His assistant gets killed. Still nowhere to be found.
Yep. That's because he knew what
Jordy.
was gonna
Yeah. I'm not touching panels. I've seen everybody else get shot.
happen. Next is the Mugatu Award for the best alien of the episode.
I want to say the Sali have a better design, but you do see the Antikins more.
Okay.
Let's go with the Sali.
Soleil.
Soleil. I'm a sneaky little Soleil. Yeah, I like that more.
Next is the Trip Tucker Award for the MVP.
I think let's give it to Data
Okay.
because he embodies Sherlock and figures out that it's not the delegates doing stuff to the
Or anybody else on the ship, right? Remember, he says he figures out like it has nothing to do with any of the families. So therefore, it has to be like an outside source.
Yeah. Like, hey, you remember how, like, in earlier years of Starfleet, like aliens would come on board and take over the ship and stuff? That probably is what's going on today. And they're like, wow, that hasn't happened in like millennia. Remember how this all happened? Like after we got real close to that like weird cloud that had energy signals that we didn't know how to read, and it was like kind of human and like no, I don't remember that.
You're being a traitor to the captain. Next is the Spock Award for the best line of the episode.
Let's do Data. Saying it's elementary, my dear Riker, sir.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's pretty good.
That's good.
I like how Riker knows what Sherlock is, but Yar is completely lost by it.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, you're not reading many books when you're being chased by rape gangs.
That's true.
The thing that was nice though was the fact that like Tasha wasn't like a sex symbol or referred sexually to her. Like
for once that was nice.
Next is the Shran Award for the best action sequence.
I like when Picard shocks everybody.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I will not be stopped.
But from my point of view, you are the enemy.
Yeah. They must serve trial. They must stand on trial. What have I done?
Yeah, perfect.
I electrocuted them all. Not just the men, but the women too.
Next is the NX Award for some sweet ship stuff.
The transporter.
Yeah.
Magical transporter.
I love the transporter. I was thinking the P, but transporter is
Oh, the P is pretty good, yeah. Pecan. I like the whip lasso that doesn't do anything. That's what I like.
That's what you like the most.
Yep,
Yeah.
the mostest.
I think you're getting confused because I'm picking the transporter, and I think you're getting confused with the Porthos Award for the most cheesiest thing of the episode.
Oh yes, the transporter.
It's the sweetest thing of the episode, and it's
And the
cheesiest.
cheese. Yeah, no, the whip lasso. That whole scene in general where like they lasso him and he turns around and he's like, What are you doing? And they're like, "Oh, sorry, wrong species." It's like how did you mistake him?
There's so much with it that's not good. Like,
It's
why
really
does it have
not.
to glow if it doesn't do anything extra? How did they know that he's not an Antikin? Why are they roaming the ship doing this?
Why did they think he was an Anakin is my question.
Right. Why is Riker not that bothered by it?
Why do they have free reign of the ship in the first one? They should have a security with them at all times.
Yeah, especially after doing that.
Yeah. No, and then at the end they're like, hey, we found this giant puddle of blood, and one of the chefs was asked to cook
Yeah, yes.
a thing, and it kind of looks like one of the reptile people. I don't know, kind of weird.
But he's doing it anyways. He's cooking them up.
Oh well, yeah, he's like, I think that's murder, but cook's gotta cook. And also, like, I didn't think they had cooks.
Right.
I thought in this timeline everything was produced by
Right.
replicators.
Right. It's really bad.
I guess I'm just really confused.
It's easily the worst thing of the episode. But
Yeah, and it's played off as like a big joke,
a big
joke at
yuck,
the end.
yuck. Yep, a big yuck. But we're not going to talk about the worst thing of the episode. We're going to talk about the best thing of the episode. What gets the Enterprise Award for the best scene of the episode?
I like Data's monologue. It's pretty good.
When he's like sitting at the chair and he's like talking to
Yeah,
Tasha.
because he's more like cocky.
Yeah, he talks like Sherlock Holmes. Yeah.
And he does that thing where he like walks away and then he turns around and he's like, but actually, it's this thing. Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy a robot acting like Sherlock Holmes, who is basically a robot.
Well, that was that. That was our review. So now it's your turn to go down to the comment section and write what you thought of the episode. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you want more of it? Or were you lonely just like us?
Usually, I would say there's not enough lightsabers, but this episode has a lightsaber.
Of course, of course.
That's how we cut meat. How do you eat your meat? With your filthy human hands? Barbaric.
Barbaric.
Next time on Star Trek The Next Generation.
Next week's episode.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Is an episode that you're all waiting for. Episode 8.
Yeah.
And that episode is entitled Justice.
I hope nothing bad happens to Wedley.
You're reading synopsises, and I know what you're doing.
No, I'm not reading synopsis.
You are looking ahead, sir, and you will be punished.
Nope. Nope. I just know.
Tune in for that next week. But as always, before you go, you can like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, share it with all your friends and family and Trek enthusiasts, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And I got that bell so you don't miss when an episode comes out. And before you go, make sure you go over to Caleb's channel when this video ends. Find a video over there that you like. Maybe make something. You'll have a good time.
You'll have a great time.
Leave him a comment, a subscribe, a suggestion. You decide.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing all of the fun, excellent, wonderful things down below. Helping us not feel lonely today, but with all your subscribes and thumbs up. comments. And Caleb, send us out.
All right, computer, end program.
See you guys.